I'm on a job today where we're taking this old road and freshening it up. So there's a landing up here for a camper. There's a really nice view out from the camping pad. And then this is a road that was put in the 1970s, and I don't think there's been anything done to it since. It's actually in pretty good shape. It's just collected a lot of organic material over the years and has a lot of grass on it. So this top section here, I'm gonna scrape all this down and bring in some new material, shape it up, and then possibly in the future do some more further down the road. I spent half a day here already and I didn't film any of it. But what was going on here is there was a water crossing, and it just consisted of large rocks and timbers laid over top of it. And it was working actually, but the wood was all rotted and it was definitely getting near the point of being unpassable. So I opened this ditch up a fair amount and dug this down quite a bit. Put a 15-inch culvert in there. It's bedded in clean stone. I had to scrape off a lot of the organic material here because it's so slimy and slippery. I wasn't able to get my trailer up through here because it's so wet. So everything had to come in one bucket at a time. So my hope is that the driveway material for the upper portion can come up through here now that I've cleaned this up a little bit. And I don't know, we'll find out tomorrow morning if the truck will be able to come up through here or not. If not, I have to pile everything at the road and truck it in one bucket at a time, which I've done before. It takes a little more time, but one way or another we'll get it in there. So this is kind of a funky ditch. It goes uphill. This goes uphill to a big culvert that crosses the road. The town doesn't have a culvert in under this driveway, which it should, but it doesn't. And so I think what happened is the last flooding we had, the town came and dug this ditch all out, and then they just spread it all over this driveway entrance. And this is a seasonal camp, and basically made it inaccessible. So I scraped all that out, and I'll probably put some road base on this and bring it back up and level it out, because this is the steepest part. And I tried to back my dump trailer in here earlier today to get some stone up for that culvert, and it was not happening. So this is much better now that all the clay and topsoil is scraped off. So I think a load of road base will improve the situation. So I found the spring in the hillside here. This is where all the water is coming from that's flooding this campsite. So I put a drainage ditch all the way around the outside of it, and it's already draining quite a bit of water. And everything is pretty wet up here because that spring was just saturating all of this. But scraped off a lot of the clay and muck, and this is pretty solid. Finally got back down to the old road base that was here. It had built up quite a lot of material over the last 50 years. And we got a good ditch flow all the way down through. And we're starting the new stone right at that tree. So we're just doing this top section for now. And that's what was in the budget for this project. And then down through here, it looks like it's going back into the woods, but it's still pretty solid. So really, this only needs to be passable in the summer with a truck and a camper, and it's been passable. So this will be a pretty big improvement. And that culvert is just down there. And this is the pile of muck that came out. I'm gonna try to smooth this out so it'll blend into the woods a little better. But that'll be another day. This material's all roughed in. There's still about 3/4 of a load left to fill it in a little more. So now it's time to set the crown and see how this will come out. This one is done for now. This landing is draining nicely. It's starting to dry out up here. I ended up just scraping all the muck off the top because by the time I came up here with the excavator, it just turned this into a muddy mess. So I scraped this down to the original base. Here's the upper portion of the road. It's totally solid now. Crowned up nicely so water won't run down it. Ended up getting a little further than originally planned with the 4 loads of gravel. So I got down probably almost another 100 feet. This is the pile of muck that came off the road. There's a lot here. And it's basically like a bowl of jelly. So if I come back to do a little more work, hopefully that'll dry it out and I'll be able to get that a little more level. And then this is an area that was not in the project. I did end up scraping this one down because this got turned into pretty much a mud pit after taking dozens of trips back and forth with a loaded tractor. Here's the culvert. Put some plant mix over top of this so it's nice and locked in. And this bottom section ended up getting graded and resurfaced. It wasn't originally part of the project, but since it had gotten so messed up from the ditching here, and this is where I ended up putting all the stone to stage it, it just kind of ended up getting covered. So kind of a nice bonus.